Hey guys, I'm not sure if this works. I've been trying to do Facebook Live, but apparently the network isn't strong enough. What I want to share in this quick video, hopefully works well, is Winter Solstice, which is December 21st, tomorrow. Depending on where you live, it's going to be 2:44 a.m. Pacific time. And in China over here, it's going to be 6:44 p.m. in the evening. And it's going to be, well, this is two part of this video I want to, by the way, I'm actually in my yoga room. I came a bit early, so hopefully we're not going to be interrupted. Anyway, and then, so two part. First is we have this big event tomorrow coming. Whether you're aware of it or not, whether you even believe this kind of stuff or not, we're all going to be bathing in this huge positive boost of energy tomorrow. So in other words, it's actually going to be a download of information and light into our whole being, everyone on the planet. Leading up to that, which is actually the core topic of today, why I wanted to share is because of this energy downloading coming, or like they're one the same thing. In the past few days, we were actually clearing a lot of things. It's like we're gonna move in the new furniture, and then we'll clear a house, or clear the old stuff that we don't need, which is basically what has been happening. And this is actually why I was inspired to make this video to share. Is in the past few days, I personally noticed quite a few weird memories coming up. Some of them are embarrassment, or some of them a little guilt. What I did at the time, I did the best I could, but over the time I sort of, I thought, or we thought we got over that memories, etc. But they do surface, and this is what I want to address. When those so-called quote-unquote negative memory or emotion surfacing, they are actually a wonderful, wonderful signs to tell you that they're coming up for you to clear. As for how you clear and transmute the energy, I'm going to give you the steps, but for now, let's lay the foundation why they come up. They come up because they need to have our attention so that we can once for all look at it, address it properly. And here's how you address it properly. First step, you want to, any of those memories surface, and I know maybe you're not a big fan of this kind of, oh, why do I always talk about my emotions, etc. But guys, here's the thing. If we don't address those things, they are what we call baggages. They're going to follow along like a trail, like a dark shadow of us all the time, which actually in essence what karma is, honestly. So we have to address it, essentially. They come up for a wonderful reason, so that first step, we feel the emotions that comes along with the memory. Oftentimes, the core reason why we haven't, or they're still there, is that we haven't fully feel it. We're afraid of it. We just, we shove it away, like, oh, I don't want to face it. I don't want to, own it. I don't want to say it's part of me. We want to ignore it. No, especially right now, it's not the time anymore. So the first step, you want to see that memory and see the you in that situation and feel along with that you. Feel fully. Do not be afraid. And this is not actually about like, oh, now I'm going to be so negative. No, it's a different story, which I can talk about in another video. But for now, feel the emotion. This is a pure, thorough process. You want to let the energy, like in a balloon, like I did other videos on this as well. That basically, if we don't let out this emotional energy inside our body, we are going to keep, feel this tension in our body when future situations, similar situations arise. We'll have similar thoughts, and then will feel same anyway. So this is the time for us to address it once for all. So feel it fully. And the second step is essentially release the judgment. The reason we have those quote unquote negative emotions is because we judge it wrong or bad or dark or whatever, label we'll give it. And then we resist it. That's why it's there and it continues to be there. So the second step is, I see that part of me. I see that story. I acknowledge you. I acknowledge, that part of me feeling that experience. I acknowledge you. I see you and accept you as part of me. That has happened. And then you can say, now I'm willing to release the judgment around the situation. Now I want to say, whether it's you doing the work to someone or simply just you, yourself, for example, me, when I was a kid, I ran over to a pond of water, I fell, and I felt embarrassed. Things like this, or things like I did to others. I didn't know I was being so harsh. But I'm not saying this to judge, especially now. I'm saying to shed light on it, and then I can say, well, I did the best I can, and that the other kind of situations, the other people, others did something to us, But no, again, it's the same. We didn't know what they were experiencing. It's not that they did that to us. On a higher level, we actually co-created with them. That's an energetic agreement. But that's another whole story I can talk about. But have the intention to once for all release it. Say, I'm no longer judging all of this. I'm willing to let this go. And the third step is you want to put that version of you in that situation, into your heart space, which is filled with love. And you can do it right now. And imagine your heart space and fill it with liquid light and love. And I'm talking about really pure, unconditional love. If you don't know how to have that, think of, a cute animal, because that's really just, there's nothing attached to that. But when you think of a person, oftentimes they're unconditional, or there are the stuff that we don't know, subconscious stuff, probably, behind the scenes. So you want to think of an animal and fill your heart with that kind of love and put that version of you in that situation, the memory situation, into your heart. And imagine you surrounding that version of you with pure love and light. And feel that transmutation from judgment, resistance, which essentially all of them are just fear. Fear of, oh, what if this or what if that, all sorts of stories we tell ourselves as a human, on an ego personality level. They're all fear. So transmute that. And there you have it. Then you have the 3 steps. And from now on, actually, in the future, even right after this, if you tap into that memory, you wouldn't feel that triggered emotion in your body anymore. I promise you, if you do that. And to wrap up, I wanted to say, everything we are experiencing, especially with this consciousness awakening process, essentially all comes down to we loving ourselves, every piece and bit of ourselves. So what I just shared today is just a very vivid part of the whole process, because what was not was more obvious. So we were judging ourselves, so then we feel bad. Now we pull out the memory, and so that we can own that part of ourselves as a child of ourselves. And then we say, I love you and I own you. Whatever happened, I let it go. I'm no longer judging it. So, and in doing that, we're actually, ultimately raising our frequency. And, by raising frequency, we're connecting to expanded consciousness. And that's the whole story, basically. One way to explain the whole story of a consciousness awakening or consciousness enlightenment, what we are going through right now. So I hope that helps. I I mean, by the way, it's not just right now. And right now, leading up to winter solstice tomorrow, we were doing a lot of the clearing. And some of actually, to be honest, to just add on this, is some of us are actually experiencing quite intense memories. And it's not just, you know, you will find yourself quite triggered. And I send you love and send you light for that. But do know that is a wonderful experience because you're releasing so much denser energy. You're no longer carrying it after that. So it's a great dissipation of the denser energy. So congratulations. I think that's it. I am getting ready for my yoga class. I send you so much love and blessings and a big, big hug, and have a wonderful winter solstice. Bye.